are back at it again today. So, like I promised, I got the Jane Davenport watercolor set. And let's take a look inside. So, I got the bright palette. And I haven't done the color swatch test yet. But I did take off all the papers and prepare the set. They're all aligned with this color palette thing. Although that looks, oh yeah, that's a red. It looks like a clay right now, but it's a red. So let's jump in here. Oh, some of these have cracked, I think, maybe because the AC's pulled moisture out of the air. I don't know. So, we're gonna go ahead and jump in and start playing with these. We're obviously, you know what, let's go ahead and do the swatches and then we'll come back to the embossing. That way we can give the swatches a little bit of time to dry so we can know what colors we are playing with. I had 3 options to choose from with her little palettes I got them at Michael's. And I decided that the bright one at the moment fit what I was going for. And eventually I'll get the rest of them too, but right now obviously this is just all I can afford. So let's start. Oh, I'm really loving the really good high pigment content. I still got some yellow in my brush. Here's the ladybug. Pigment in these is really high. I'm definitely happy. I think I seen Maremy Small Art playing with them, and she's actually the one that really got me back into the drawing, the watercoloring. I haven't done watercoloring since I was like 6, but I've always admired people who do magnificent watercolor work. So I figured it was time for me to dive in and see what I could create. Definitely good for the colors I wanted for a lot of the projects I'm going to be working on in the moment. Now in the future, I'm definitely looking into that natural browns palette. And of course the other palette too, I really liked that one as well. But right now this just seemed to fit the whole Christmas, getting into watercolor, having all of your primary, oh, it's totally gonna stick that in my drinking water, your primary known colors. And I'm just kind of, patting it to give it a little bit of texture. I want the darker to dry a little bit too. I was hoping to get some two-tone action going on. So we'll see what happens with that. To see not only the darker scale, but the lighter scale, because I have thicker here and then a little bit lighter here. Same here. I had it along the edges with the red is a little thicker. I'm gonna let this dry. And of course some of the dark, because this dollop has gone more to the center instead of the edge like I had hoped, but that's okay. And on the yellow you can tell that the bottom's darker than the top. At least I can. It's barely really noticeable, but it's there. And I'm just gonna set this at a little bit of an angle, hopefully, so we can get it. Alright, we're going to set this aside. I'm going to let that dry naturally. And now we get to play with the embossing. And this is a watercolor paper. It's the same watercolor paper I've been using throughout the series. So please check out my previous videos to find out what kind it is. And I want to start with the kitty cat. This cute little kitty cat with a Santa Claus hat. Now, I like kitty cats. I don't personally own them. I actually had a cat for a little bit, and I have some really nice stuff and some really nice shelves. And they're prone to jumping on said shelves and knocking nice family heirlooms off of said shelves. So the cat had to go back to its previous owner, which is fine. The lady absolutely loved the cat, but she was just hoping, she lives out on a farm, so she had a lot of them. So she was hoping to thin the herd a little bit, but she did end up with that one back. But that is okay because it does happen. Oh, I need my paper, and this will probably be dry before then, but that's okay. We can re-ink it if we have to. Now, I've never really done this on watercolor paper, so let's hope that it goes over well. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to re-ink it. It didn't come out as planned. I probably shouldn't put that in that pile. This stuff is got nasties on it now, but that's okay. Alright, I'm gonna flip this over and we're gonna try again. It does look like the pad needs some ink. Again, please don't ask where I got this. I say this in all of my videos up until now. I haven't bought ink embossing fluid or an embossing pad. This was given to me by my mom, who inevitably found it at a yard sale. So she finds the neatest things for me secondhand, and I always end up using them and loving them. Let's get to Stampy Town. I'm gonna get our kitty cat all stampied up. Now let's hope this does just as good. If not, we might have to switch papers. Much better. I don't know what's going on with that glitter, but the rest of it is just much better. Alright, we got some excess sparkly going on here. I'm just gonna do my best to clear a little bit of it out. Our little kitty is too cute. Alright, now we're going to dump this gold. And I want to get rid of these little balls. It's kind of silly on my part. The brush works perfect though for removing them. They seem to stick right to it. And you know, who cares if we get a little bit of extra glitter when we're watercoloring? It just adds to it. Happy with them? Look how gorgeous. Alright. I want to do these Christmas snowflakes. Let's add them to our set here. And I want them in this beautiful blue white. I'm just glad that our inky problem was, oh, look at all that glitter, was because of the inking pad being dry, and it wasn't because of the paper. I think I would have cried a little bit had I had to go buy some new paper. Get our paper down here. Let that dry while we put all this away. Oops. Tripod's in the way. I just want you guys to know you don't need to buy no fancy tool to dump this in. I mean, it helps, I guess. I've never had one, but it's not, you know, you don't have to have it. You know, yeah, I'm gonna do Merry Christmas in gold. I want to do this Joy in black. That way I can paint around it any color I want, and it'll really, really stand out. Although I feel like Joy would just be better in gold. I just want to try it in black. You know, why not? This one has a lot of detail work in it too, so we'll see how it will come out. We're putting it down by the kitty cat. And if you look at it, actually, I can see a light pink hue on the paper where it's at. Oh wow, that's such a vivid pattern. I don't know if I want the black. how about I will do two. I will do one in black and I will do one in gold, and we shall see how they come out. That actually came out very beautiful. I'm a little impressed, although as you did notice, we had some blowback everywhere. We had some of it, you know, just go haywire, but that's okay. Now let's get this back into our little container. Now the ink and the pad I did not buy, but this embossing glitter, some of it I got with the kit itself at the yard sale, and that are these bigger round ones, which I haven't played with in a little bit. Maybe I should play with them. They've been feeling a little neglected. And these beautiful colors that I got from Michael's, or no, not Michael's, I got this set from Joann's. I haven't really looked at what Michael's has yet. All right, so I said I'm going to do Joy twice, so let's go for it. And I love these black flecks, so we're going to try and stay away from that as much as possible. Because, yeah, I want to keep those black flecks. I think they add so much character to what we have going on. And oh yeah, our last one's Merry Christmas, so we have plenty of space. I'm gonna go with this same gold we did for the cat. Actually, do I have a different? Yeah, I have this gold here. We'll use that one, although it's really thick, and yeah, we'll see. We shall see. Oh yes, that came out wonderful. Wow. That came out so beautiful, guys. Just so beautiful. All right, let's dump this. I was supposed to have some help come over today. I might have someone new, not per se to the channel. I mean, you might see her work in the future, but just a little bit of help, you know, doing the basic stuff like cutting up cardboard and learning the in and outs of some of the more basic things, packaging up orders as long as it meets my standards. So we'll see how she does. I hope she does really well, because I could seriously use the help. And I think you guys would like to see more videos. I would definitely like to teach her to be able to have a cameraman, especially for the vlogs in the future, because if you guys haven't been able to tell, I have been working more. Ooh, look how pretty that came out. More with the vlogs. And I did finally decide to integrate them into the main primary channel instead of the separate vlog channel. Oh, where's my, there it is. We threw it off to the side, guys. All right, we got our water and our little tissue here. And let's see about our watercolors and start playing. Now I have seen some techniques. Some of the techniques I've seen, obviously, is to add water to your board to be able to move around your color better. So I'm just going ahead and adding extra water here. I do want to get my bigger brush. Much better. More of what I'm looking for. Move it out around the edges. And I'm going to put some water here, especially now that this is starting to dry. We can have the green come over, but not excessively, because this other side I want to be red, or like a pinky red. And I want that fire out. So we're gonna go over to this one and just dump a little bit. Yeah, I like that, but I want a little less dark, so I'm going to add some water to my brush. It's still a little dark, but it's not as dark. We're just gonna pull the colors out and around. There we go. I kind of love how they're bleeding together in the middle. That is exactly what I wanted. It's beautiful. Pull that green down at the top a little bit because I want it to be pink. this pinky red. Okay, I think we're done with that. It came out exceptional and exactly as planned. Although the edges I feel probably, no, you know, in my head they were blurred a little bit, but I like this watercolor not blurred on the edges feel. It's just, it's gorgeous. Okay, so obviously for the snowflakes, I'm gonna go with the 70s eyeshadow. So the light blue. Go ahead and we're just gonna, I wanna cover the whole thing. I'm not going like crazy. I'm keeping a shape. I'm using the shiny light from the window to kind of tell where my water is going, and just going in a kind of designated shape that I want around my little embossed area. Now that we are ready to go, let's go with this 70s eyeshadow, and we're just gonna bloop. Oh man, look at how beautiful. And of course it's running right off of the embossing and onto the paper just like we wished. And it is coming out beautifully. I want some more here. And I think it's going to be really fun having some areas darker than others, because in a snowstorm, you know, you never know. You really don't. I want to mix this up some with the rest of this. Just keep mixing it in really, really well. The water we have here, I love it. I might come in with a little bit of the ink. I might not. Let's see how it comes out. I think I'm happy with the way it is. I feel like this could have been blended a little better, so let's add a little water and see if we can't get it to blend out a little better. Why not, right? All right, now let's go with Joy. What are we gonna do? I don't want yellow. I think Joy just literally looks good on its own, but I do want some coloring. So let's just go with Ladybug. Red and gold are a Christmas classic. And I'm obviously using this to really get we'll set it right here, get a feel for my colors. I don't know why I just did that. I have to put the coloring on my thingamabob first. I want to use this little poofy. Oh yeah, look at that, guys. I like this little poof. Kind of saves half the time too, especially when you're working with some of these bigger ones. Start with red, and I think I'm gonna just mix red and green. Oh wow. And see how it comes out. Just let it do its thing naturally. Oh, you know what? I don't know why. Over here. I'm gonna color in that berry, maybe this berry. If it doesn't make it onto the berry, that's fine. It's just, we're playing a little bit at this point. Oh, and I think I accidentally smudged onto something else. Maybe we'll just get this poinsettia right in the middle. Color, why not, right? We're just playing. I'm happy with that. Now I want to go in with the green. And I'm not going to go in with the light green. I am going to go in with this mermaid. Well, no, I don't feel like that's very... I guess it could be classified as Christmassy. So let's try the mermaid. And if anything, I guess I can mix and see what other colors I can come up. Oh, wow. Yeah, we're just gonna let this have fun with itself. Just let it go to town. I want to paint these leaves, of course. Paint the leaves. We have to paint the leaves. Wow. I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm really enjoying this. I want a little bit more water, though. I feel like we've lost some. And I'm just gonna... Oh, wow. Oops. But you know what? I like it. It gave us an interesting mix here. So let's roll with it. I'm just gonna let that dry. Although I wish it was off the gold, but that's okay. So I'm sure it'll just wipe off. All right, let's do this black one. I think I'm going to do it. We could do it with the green, the yellow. I feel like the yellow or the blue. I'm feeling the yellow for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I am definitely feeling the yellow. All right, let's get some color on this bad boy. Looks like I still have some residual color in this brush from whatever project I was working on previously. think it's like a pinkish red. Yellow, 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 guys. Let's do this. Boop, there it is. And I'm just gonna go to Yellow Town on this one. I'm just gonna let it do its own thing. We got the really darker yellow up top, the lighter yellow starting around the sides. We have these dots up here, so we want to get them covered. Got myself in the hand. Now that we have this yellow going really, really well, should I do red splotchies? No, we're just going to leave it yellow. Now, with the kitty cat, this is the one he's already painted, but you know that's okay. This is the one that we really get to have fun with, because we're going to individually paint him a few different colors, which means I don't need that one, I need this one. So we're going to do his little hat. We're going to be very delicate. Just make sure and get the hat only. Now let's get some of this wonderful Frida. Just paint the hat. Look how wonderful. Just how wonderful that is. Our little kitty cat's hat. And I think I'm going to go in with a little bit. See, I want to do his poofy here. And I'm going to go in with the ink color. And we're going to wipe some of it off because I don't want it to be too dark. Looks like we wiped off too much. And just go around the edges. And I think the middle came out a little yellow for some reason. So we'll go with a little bit of 70s to pull out the yellow. Maybe his poofy is blue anyway. Now I'm going to add just a tad bit more ink around the edges, just to darken it up a tad and give it some texture, and maybe around all these little doodads here to give it some texture. Now that came out magnificent, guys. Alright, let's clean out our brush so we can start on his head hat. He's had on it. Oh, you know what? I realized that is red. So don't worry, we will go back in and paint that red. But right now we're going to get a little foofy on his head that is also now partially red because I picked up the red from the side of his hat. Considering this is our first time, I think we are doing magnificently. Especially if you guys are also joining me for the first time. I love it when I work with something and I just become impressed right off the bat with how wonderful it works out. But of course, I have been doing this for a very long time, so I'm very well practiced in most art forms. And even if I am not well practiced, I have done it before. I'm just rusty. So keep that in mind if you have never done it in your life. Because some people pick it up more natural than others, and some people just it's like riding a bike. You fall off once or twice, but once you get the hang of it, you're back in the game. Look at that little hat, guys. It's adorable. I love this guy's little hat. All right. And I know it's a little darker than you guys are used to with Santa, but I really wanted to give it some contrast because I'm not sure if I'm going to paint Sir Kitty or not. So if I don't paint Sir Kitty, then how is his hat going to stand out if it's white? Understandable? Yeah, I hope so, because I think it's understandable. Now I'm just going in and lightly touching up the edges. And the little doodads on his hat, we're just going to dab them a little bit. You know, nothing crazy, nothing insane. We're just giving them some texture. And don't overdo it, just a couple taps. Even if you feel like it doesn't look right, that's okay. This is our first time. It's okay. There. Oh, I love his little hat. See, kind of like my red oops right there. It blended in nicely and now it looks beautiful. You can still tell that there's a little bit of red blended in there, but that's okay. All right, now we're going to go back to the red again. I know I'm jumping back and forth. I'm terrible. But I want to finish out his hat. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Oh, we're picking up some of the blues, guys. See, it does happen. But I think part of that is because I didn't let it dry. But that's okay. You know, that's perfectly okay. We're just going to do our best trying to not let it run down into the blue. And if it does, so be it. Let it run down there. It'll add some texture, just like that. And, you know, I'm going to clean up my brush again. And I want to add some more water to his little hat on the side because I want to add more color to it. I really do. I feel like it should be darker. So we're just going to make it darker. There. Look how cute he is. All right, I'm going to clean up right here some. We're just going to take this out and dry off our brush as we go. And that will pull out a lot of the red, and it did wonderfully. And still kept our darker texture colors. Now I do need a little bit of the ink because we have to touch up this little guy right here. Alright, and you know I want the inside of his ears to be super pink, so we're going to use Best Friend. That right there. So let's go ahead. I'm going to clean off my brush really good. Now let's dab the inside. Oh, we gotta be a little careful. We're picking up some of the blue here, or some of the ink color. Clean out our brush. Alright. The ink is so dark, I don't think this pink is gonna affect it, but we'll start off with this opposite side just in case. And just a light pink, nothing crazy, you know, just a light pink for his little ear. Alright, let's pull out. There we go. I think that's the wonderful thing I love about watercolors, is it's so easy to pull up colors because your brush soaks up the color and just takes it with it. Right inside the ear. Oh, and his nose, which I forgot to water, but that's okay because we have such little pigment in the brush along with excess water, so that made it just a little bit easier. Perfect. He's such a cutie. Now I feel like he should be a Garfield, and I can't remember what color to mix to bring more orange, so we're just gonna play with these colors and do the yellow because I know that that's the start of orange at least. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that this is what this is for. Alright, now let's see. We have a ladybug, so I'm pretty sure that if we add ladybug, which is a deeper red, to our yellow, that we should get a nice orange. Yes, but that is too dark. But we're gonna do a tester. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, that's really dark, so I don't want my orange. It's more like blood in your urine dark. I know, terrible. But I was a CNA for a while, so I know what that looks like. We're gonna do more yellow here. Quite a bit more yellow. Yeah, we need some more yellow though. A little bit more yellow. And then we shall see. I think that should be good enough with this last bit. Wow, look at that beautiful orange. It's a very creamy orange. That is going to be wonderful for our little kitty cat. All right, now I'm just blowing on it a little bit. You know what? Let's use this. Okay, so I dried it from a top angle. This way it wouldn't push our ink around any. Now let's go ahead and add the ink to, or the water to our kitty cat. And we're just sticking within the cat. We're not going outside the bounds like we did with everyone else. We're just staying in the bounds. Okay, let's get the, we're gonna use this one, no, this one. So we got a little bit bigger one, but it's still small enough to help us stay within our bounds. And you know what? I'm just going to do his ears separate last. Right now I'm going to see how I can get his paws and his face to come out. So I'm just going to start with the edges on the outside, and I'm going to work my way in. That way the edges can come out dark, and then we can use the residual from the edges to fill in his face and his paws. Because there is a lot of pigment in this this set, which I really, really love. But if you're doing a set like this, and you want it to come out lighter into his face, then you got to kind of drag out the colors, which it does work wonderful, and it is completely adorable and lightens up the colors wonderfully. And like I said, it has been a while since I've done any form of art by this standard, but I still kind of think that I'm all right. I mean, I'm not the best, but I give credit where credit is due. It's not terrible. Of course, I don't think any art is really terrible. It's just somewhere in a person's journey where they are at the moment. I want it to be a little bit darker. There we go. That's what I want. Along the edges here. So cute. He's coming out so cute. I'm gonna have to send a picture to Boo. I think he's gonna like the kitty cat. He's a little bit of a Garfield fan, so my little orange cat will probably get him going. I think I'm gonna have to do another one of these, because this one is going to go on the cover of one of those little those Midoris that we made the other day. I'm making a few more for the shop, and I wanted to make these little cuties to go on the front of them. Dragged out the color along the edges here a little bit. Not liking how dark that came out. So I'm just going to drag it out and blend it. Perfect. Look at that blending. Just wonderful. Just wonderful. Alright, now let's do his widow ears. Now I'm just going to use this tiny brush that I already have to fill it, because his ears are so tiny to begin with. Perfect. Let's get some of this orange in here. And I'm probably going to have to come back in on these ears a few times to get it to match the rest of the cat. But that is okay. Especially when we're working with something that we really, really want to be magnificent. The more time we put into a piece, the more beautiful it will become. Oh my. I love this little kitty. He is just downright adorable. Alright, I hope you guys had just as much fun with me on this as I did painting it. I mean, look at that textury water flow around our snowflakes. This one's still drying, so I'm going to dry it real quick. Well, guys, I did a number on Joy, but with where I did it, I could stick a sticker on it and it'll be okay. But they're all pretty much dry now. I don't know what convinced me to touch it, but here you go. I'm such a ding dong. But just look at all the coloring on these. They're beautifully gorgeous. The Merry Christmas and this and the kitty cat are my favorites. Joy is also a color palette favorite with the way they blended. My bad on the little mess up, but that's okay. We can figure out something to do to fix it. If not, then it will get scrapped. But I do love this yellowy one. This one came out gorgeous. So I'm going to fussy cut these, like I said earlier, and call it a day. Bye.